Hey Noel, how are you?
Hi, Cheryl. I'm good. How about you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share your story of what it's been like for you to be not just a TGH champion, but also a hero now. And today, I guess the purpose is to share your insight of how it's been like working with TGH and also how it's sort of impacted your life as well. So maybe you want to give us a little bit of background of life before the Growth Hub to begin with. What were you doing and what sort of work were you doing?
Yeah, that would be my pleasure. So, before the Growth Hub, I was working in the corporate world. I'm a marketing executive for a hotel. So, that's an international hotel chain that I work here in the Philippines. So, everyone, I'm from the Philippines, by the way. Yeah, so I work there as a marketing executive, but then we all know the pandemic hit. Majority of the establishments affected were, of course, the hospitality industry, and that's when I started to venture into looking into working remotely. And through a friend, I discovered the Growth Hub, and I think it was hard at first to look for a job that offers work remotely because, of course, everybody was probably looking for it at that time. But when I found the Growth Hub, it was really great. They accepted me and paired me with a great client as well, and that's how I started my journey as a virtual assistant or a remote worker, basically.
And what was important for you in terms of finding remote work? Why was remote work such an important factor?
Of course, first and foremost, at the time, it was the safety because everybody was indoors and nobody wants to go outside because of what's happening. But then again, I learned that going the remote work route when it comes to working would offer so much flexibility for me because I could earn the same amount from the corporate or even more, but then I get to stay at home, stay with my family, and maybe travel even while working. So yeah, that's what really attracted me to that.
That's so good. And tell me a little bit about, in terms of when you used to work in the corporate world, was there a lot of travel that you needed to do, or was it close to where you were? And compared to now, which I guess you sort of walk into the next room and start working.
Actually, it was hard during working corporate because I had to commute and I wasn't actually at home. I was boarding somewhere in Metro Manila because I'm actually from the province. I am from Cavite, Philippines, but I work in Metro Manila. So I had to rent an apartment, commute to work. The situation when you're working in the corporate world, not remotely, is really hard because of the transportation. It would take around half to 1 hour to go to work and maybe double during rush hour when you go home. So
Yeah, so you're spending quite a lot of time on public transport and you weren't living at home as well. Because at the time, would you have been living with your parents or were you living by yourself? I guess when you lived in the city, you were living your boarding or whichever.
yeah, I was living alone actually when I was in the city. That's how it was like going to and from work, doing it alone. And that's how it was before I moved to working remotely.
And so, since moving remotely, what does that allow you to do in terms of where you work now?
A lot of things actually when I moved to working remotely. One, of course, it's you're in the comfort of your own home working. You wake up. I mean, you see memes around saying that you turn the alarm for 8 a.m., 7:59, you just woke up. Then you can go directly to your desk. And instead of the before times where you have to commute almost an hour. So that's one. Two is, of course, you get to stay with your family. As I mentioned earlier, I was living alone in the city when I had my corporate job. But now I'm nearer to my family. And aside from that, I earn well-being at home. And actually, I earn more now compared to what I had before in corporate. So that's a big plus as well.
Excellent. So you're saving on public transport, you're saving on the time that you had to travel and allows you to be closer to your family. You also mentioned the benefits of being, because you can work remotely, that you're able to travel as well. So I'd love for you to share with me what you've been able to do in terms of work and travel.
Correct. That's another flexibility that working remotely offers. I've had the experience of traveling while working, so I get to go to mountains like the highlands of the Philippines, Baguio, and I get to travel along the beaches of the Philippines as well because we do have nice beaches here. Like I've been to Boracay, worked there. I've been to Cebu and worked there. And yeah, so it really does offer that flexibility while you get to unwind as well after. So that's really, really big plus.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think you've been to more places than I have now. And I know as well, and one of the big things that we also want to focus on at the Growth Hub is how we can support you in terms of your own personal goals. And I know one of the things that you've purchased in the last few years has been your own home as well, which is fantastic. Working remotely and with TGH, how has that allowed you to do that?
Compared to my corporate work, I do work with my manager before remotely because they have a corporate office abroad. So when I moved in with the Growth Hub, it was kind of an easy transition, but then again, the Growth Hub offered a lot in terms of training so that I can learn more and be more fit with supporting my client. And in turn, my client is happy, I support their business, I get benefits from the Growth Hub. For example, when I passed my probation, I got HMO, I've had paid time offs. And as you've mentioned, it supported me well enough that I got to buy my own place. I get to house my cats. Since I do have my own cats, so they get a place to stay. And my friends can visit me, my family can visit me. They're just a few minutes away. And it really is something. It's a very big accomplishment for me. And I guess I'm very grateful, not just to PJ, but of course with you, Cheryl. It's an amazing journey here at the Growth Hub. And aside from that, from being a champion, there is really growth in the Growth Hub because I did not just move from being a champion, I moved to the internal team and even grow more from in just a short span of time. So it's really something that I'm proud of when I got.
Yeah, and I'm really, really proud to see your personal growth there, despite sort of the personal challenges that you've had to be able to overcome them as well. And you said we always want to be able to explore where people want to go next in their careers, but also personally in terms of some of the things that we do. We have lunch and learn sessions and power hour sessions, which are about personal development, but also learning opportunities. So for those of us sort of wondering, I know we talked about what life is like working remotely and working with the Growth Hub. How are you able to see as well in your ability, because one of the things that the Growth Hub is about is how we impact others. How have you, in your roles, been able to see that you've impacted other people as well?
So first, when I was a champion here at the Growth Hub, I believe I contributed a great impact to my client before, that was Sanders. I supported him through his social media platforms, imparting my skills in marketing and graphic design. And I was really glad because results like, for example, having his successful webinars, seminars, which I've done marketing for, like created posters for it, and my client was really glad when it happened. I've had an impact with my client, and moving on to my new role when I moved to HR, the internal team, I have to say I did big impact with everybody. Like, for example, biggest accomplishment for me would be leading spearheading the project for our grand meetup, the very first one to be specific, and planning it together with the team. It's a big effort from everyone, but getting to spearhead that and seeing the happy faces of our champions and heroes, the tears, sweat, and blood, it was all worth it. So I think it did impact everyone in the team. And of course, as we say in our philosophy, it's impacting not just ourselves, everyone around us, the team, our clients. I think I achieved that, and I'm very proud of it. And doing that here at the Growth Hub.
Absolutely. It was an incredible event, Noel, and we know that there was absolutely a lot of blood, sweat and tears. And even at the event itself, I could tell how much that you had so much pride in what you were doing. And I'm very, very thankful that we've been able to help you find roles that allow you to shine and really dive into what your skills are and what you're passionate about, which is why as well, the next part of your growth at the Growth Hub is being part of going back to your roots in terms of marketing and engagement, which we're really excited to see you absolutely flourish into as well. So yeah, I think this was really good little insight into your journey, Noel. So thank you so much for sharing. I am so excited about what your next chapter, but it's been so great to be able to see what your journey has been like and the growth and the impact that you've made in this time as well, and the places that you visited in the time also. So more travels for you and exciting new things to happen as well. So thank you so much, Noel, for sharing your story.
No, it's thank you, because thank you for the opportunity that you have given me. I'm mentioning about how I impact people, but it's you who actually has a great impact on me, not just myself, but of course my family, because of how I can help provide with them. Thank you so much for the opportunity and of course the empowerment, because you trusting us, champions and heroes, is a really big deal, and I am very, very grateful for that. So thank you as well, Cheryl. A very big thank you to Cheryl, to you, and to the group.
Wouldn't be possible without the team. So thank you. Thank you so much, Noel. You have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon. Take
You
care.
too.